behind this presentation is to demonstrate the use of a scanning system to create digitized filing in small businesses, and then to demonstrate the use of a search engine to show you how it's easy and low cost to set up a filing system that will generally give you access to every document you could ever want. And the reason is you scan everything so you know you've got it, and yet you've stored it and done it quickly, but you have a method of accessing it fairly rapidly. So imagine you've got an office where every day all the incoming and outgoing correspondence, mail, whatever that moves through that office is scanned. Now they would likely then have, and this is just a structure that I'm suggesting you could do, you would likely then have, say in 2012, you have a mail in and a mail out subdirectory. In regards to the mail in, you then have each month, and in this case for July, we've got the scan for that particular day. So the incoming mail on the 20th of July 2012, that was the document that was scanned. That is all the documents that came in to the office that day. Now the key to how this works is recognizing the power of the search engine. What the scanning does is give you all the documents efficiently scanned. You've got plenty of storage space and it's very quick. You don't have to think much. You just put it in the tray in the scanner and everything goes through. What happens now is you've got to recognize something about the nature of documents that are being digitized. They can be accessed using a search engine. In other words, for example, Adobe's Acrobat product has a search engine feature that will look inside the document and detect keywords. Now this is a critical point because 9 times out of 10 you tend to know two things. Yes, you know there's a document. You tend to have a rough idea as to when the document arrived in the office or went out of the office, so you sort of know it was a particular month or a particular quarter or a particular year. You certainly have some idea. And secondly, you tend to know something about the document. Someone wants something and you'll know, yes, this document had to do with a particular bank, so therefore the name of the bank should appear on the document. Or it had to do with a particular person, so the name of that person should appear on the document. As long as you've got some information about what may appear on that document, the search engine is a really powerful and efficient way of finding it. And what it does is it avoids all this problem of when you scan and file in the first place, of going through all the rigmarole of detailing every document, giving it a specific name, attaching it to a client. Not a perfect system, as the article points out, but remember, we're about speed, efficiency and redundancy. So in this case, the incoming mail for that day consists of this PDF. Now I've only have 7 pages here. It could be 700 pages, it wouldn't really matter. Now in here there are a string of documents that you can see are not documents that came into the office by email. They came in through snail mail. They're paper documents that have been scanned. Now let's just quickly look at these documents. This document here, for example, to do with Medibank travel insurance, travel might be a key word that you're familiar with in terms of that document. So if you're searching for this document, remember you don't quite know where it is, but you're confident the word travel appears on it. Another example would be a document where you want to target a particular person's name. So in a document like we're dealing with here, you may have a particular name of an individual that you know is connected with it. So in this case, let's take the name Henderson. Henderson is a name. You tend to know that that name appears connected with that document. Another one here, let's say in this document you could search, say, the term NTAA because it's that type of document. It's connected with that organisation. Though again, you're not quite sure where that document is. You know it did come into the office in 2012, for example. In this document here, again, you could search another name. And in this case, we can just pick a name. Let's say we choose Agnew. So that name is connected with this document. It's not as if it's that person who's requested it. It's not as if this document, which is a challenger document, is something that is driven by that search. You could argue you could search for challenger. It's just sort of telling you just need to know one piece of information about the document, and the ability of the search engine to get you there is really, really powerful and very efficient. And finally, just to demonstrate a last point, you can even just deal with, say, a phone number. So this is a document here from Provident Capital outlining some of their rates. And for some reason, you are familiar with this number, 1800 650 422. So you know if you search that number, you should have the document because you do remember that number is connected with this document that you're looking for. Now the way this works is very, very simple. Adobe has a search engine. So in this case, what we do is we open up that search engine, and I'll just move this into the main field. And you then search all the PDF documents. Now this is a critical point. When you search all the PDF documents, what Adobe is doing is it's actually looking inside the document. And even though the document was a paper document and you scanned it, it has the ability to interpret the text as digitized text and read it as if it was typed into Word or Direct. In other words, it reads the letters and the numbers as digitized items, so the search engine works. So what I'm going to do here is just start the search with the term travel. Now remember, when we select the word travel, what we're really doing is saying that I know I'm looking for a document, I know it had the word travel on it, and in this case we're going to say I know it came into the office in 2012. If you then do a search, it will then quickly produce where that name appears in the document. Now if you then click on that, it'll give you where it appears. It highlights the word travel, as you can see there, and that is our document. Now this is really powerful search engine because it's allowing you to search for something. You're not quite sure where it is, but you know a name connected with it. Let's say deal with the Henderson. Henderson. So that's all we know. This name appeared on the document. Again, we do a search and there it is. So Henderson appears in the search engine for that document. We then click on it and that'll take us directly to that document, and there it is. So, and Henderson's name has been found and you now have access to the document. You can print it out and do whatever else you need to do. Now this could be searching 500 PDFs over an entire year, in which case the name Henderson could produce thousands of hits, but you can tend to narrow the search because you probably know that that particular document with Henderson on it came through, say, in July as opposed to June, or in a particular quarter. Recognize something else as well. When you're searching documents, it's normally because there's a good reason to do it. And I'll just put the number search in here now, the 1800 650. So you're not uncomfortable with spending a few minutes finding it. Remember, spending a heap of time up front coding documents, digitizing them, allocating them to database and doing all this other work, that's great, and you get this beautiful structured filing system. The problem is 95% of the documents you never look at again. It's much better to do the reverse. Work on redundancy, design a system that just grabs the document, scans it, gets it on your server, and then you use a search engine like this to find it. I know the document has that number on it, so I do a search and there it is. It's that simple, and it will then take you straight to that document because it finds the number. This is a really simple, powerful search engine. It's also the cornerstone of why offshoring and outsourcing is doable in terms of online processing, because what happens is you get all the documents for a client, all their bank statements, anything else they have, they all go and get scanned and then become searchable documents. The same search engine that allows us to do this allows the bookkeeper to quickly search your documents. They can find invoices and everything else. It's really efficient. You don't even have to bother putting them in date order because they can see the documents. It'll bring up 12 documents if you put the supplier's name and you get one every month. Have a look at it. I believe that the use of Acrobat to do this does require a commercial license, but ultimately you only need one license in the office to operate the search function if only one person ultimately is responsible for extracting the files.